It's very silent. Thancred and I are listening to... Thancred and I are listening to the soothing sound of the waves as we stare longingly into each other's eyes. Hi. The Satrap of Razdhan. Ooh, are we going to finally meet them? Thancred is wearing a grim expression. I see that. Someone's name is Doohickey Wigglebutts. Were you just caressing me, Thancred? I missed it. I was looking at Doohickey Wigglebutts' name in chat. First, we must inform everyone of the situation, Nidhana's colleagues included. Aw, we haven't even told them yet. Enjoy your lurk, Rexy. Thank you for hanging out. It was great to hang out with you this morning. I go live every Tuesday. Oh, it's raining. Every Tuesday to Saturday at noon Eastern time. And then we chit-chat for a while before we start the game. I'll call them together for a gathering, but I think it would be best if you were the one to explain. Thanks. Thanks. He just doesn't want to tell them that their friend is probably dead. Oh, I totally forgot to show you guys the pearlers. Sorry. Oh, Nidhana. Wait, stop. Can you answer me this? Though Nidhana is trapped at the tower, she's still alive, yes? Technically... Then we must make warding scales, as many as we can. The prototype works perfectly. This Nidhana proved at peril to herself. So let us make more scales, that she and all those who were taken might be saved. That guy's hair is awesome. Aye, as alchemists, this is how we will help win the fight. By doing alchemy. My friends, the Satrap has been made aware of the tragedy. He offers his heartfelt condolences and reiterates his pledge to provide you with all that you require. To that end, he bade me give you this link pearl, that he might personally discuss the production of the warding scales with you. He has link pearls. And for our Eorzean visitors, I bear an invitation. In her report, Mistress Nidhana noted your vital contributions to the talisman's creation. This fact came to the Satrap's attention, and in recognition of your deeds, he wishes to meet you. Yeah! I hope it's somebody as crazy as, like, Vothri. In addition to thanking you in person, he would also discuss further avenues of collaboration. And if so, if it is agreeable, will you not accompany me to Razdhan for an audience with His Excellency? Yes. It's like you can't bring the giant pointy one. We should be honored, of course. Closer cooperation between our lands can only be to the benefit of all. Then it is settled. Please come to the gates east of Giant Skull Grounds. Kiss me! Hi, Miente. Thank you for the raid. How have you been? How are you doing? Winged shadows appear. Magical scales glistening as a flight of dragons descend upon you from the clouds. Oh, I love it. They're friendly, because they're friendly dragons. They're friendly dragons. Thank you, Miente. It's good to see you. Welcome. I hope you had a wonderful stream today. Please tell me what you streamed, what you loved most about the stream, and how you're doing today, and something you love. I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot of stuff. Or you could just sit back, relax, and have a good time. Welcome. I'm Peachy if you don't know me. It's very nice to meet you. Hi, Red Zebra. What's going on? Thank you. Oh, you just finished the story and it's so awesome. Oh, I'm so early still in my playthrough. I'm so happy that you finished it and loved it. Congratulations. And I love chocolate. I also love chocolate. Though I have to have dark chocolate because I'm lactose intolerant. But that's okay. I've developed a taste for dark chocolate. Now I actually like it better than milk chocolate most of the time. It's very good. It's very good. We're gonna go see the Satrap. Ooh, you love dark chocolate too? I never used to love dark chocolate until I was forced to forced to eat it if I didn't want horrible stomach pain. So that'll certainly make you switch. But now I truly like it even better. I'm gonna take my fatter cat, not your little dodo birds. Okay, how... I wonder if we have to go up here? We should probably go up there anyway. Just to uncover the map. It looks like we go up. That could be down below. I don't know, because Final Fantasy maps are confusing. Ah! If that's how you interpreted it, that's valid. You have to eat chocolate to prevent stomach pains. Yes. I'm gonna say yes. Tay pushed through so hard to finish the story. Aww. Well, congrats on doing it. You did it. You did it. Oh my gosh, Kirtana gifted me the fatter cat, and it's the best mount ever. Hey, Josephel! Thank you for lurking, Pecunias. You took 2 naps and she was still streaming. I like the music here. Fatter cat's the best. Ooh, I like this. We can get married up here. Look at the little fatter cat. The best thing is when you land and you see the little feet and then it goes down and like hides its feet. Yeah, I love everything here is India and like East Asian inspired. And I love it. Ooh. Oh. Oh, we can't jump down here. It won't. Oh, it will not let you fall down there. Interesting. Okay. So what is this? This is legit like just a little like wedding area. I love it. Eno! Oh my gosh, and Innovation too. Thank you so much. What's up? Were you guys playing 14? How are you? Hi, Hoverbot. How are you? Yurukam, Satsuo, Marino, Dragon's Guardian, Twislapora. Welcome, guys. I'm Peachy if you don't know me. Eno and I are cut from the same fangirl cloth. Wait, do we really have to go all the way around? Or was there another way I could go? I'm very confused. But that is like a little plateau there. How do I get down into this valley? I'm gonna go all the way around over here and see if I can get there. I think we're going there. I have to figure out how to get there. She said exactly that. I told you. I told you. Hi, Eno. I love you so big. Have you finished the MSQ yet? I just started yesterday, so I'm still very, very early. I'm still level 80. And I'm doing the bro trip with Estinian, Thancred, and Ariange. And I did this one first, so I haven't done the library quest with Alfie and them yet. We are sisters, yes. We're fangirl sisters. We are, yes. Inochi! Peachy, please cosplay the twins with me in TwitchCon. Ah! Oh wait, are you gonna be Alfie? Be my Alisaie? I'll be your Alisaie. I'll be your Alisaie. Oh, you're on level 83, slowly going further. Nice. You're ahead of me at least. You're ahead of me. Oh my gosh, I hope you've been loving it so much. Yes! Who's gonna cosplay Alfie. Alfie is my son. Alfie is my baby. Alfie is my everything. Nothing matters but Alfie. As long as Alfie's safe. And happy. And wonderful. And pressed to his mother's loving bosom. Then we're all good. Oh my gosh! I was so cosplay Alisaie! Of the Satrap, I only know the common tidbits that though the position is hereditary, he is not considered a sovereign, and that despite possessing considerable authority, he wields it sparingly. Given the esteem in which the locals hold him, however, it's safe to assume he's good at his job. We could do far worse for an ally. Yeah, that's what they said. They said that he, like, he's kind of like a king, but at the same time, like, he's only there to, like, make decisions that the people can't figure out on their own. Because, like, the people, there's, like, representatives from, like, every, like, walk of life. And they come together and oh no, that was in old, or was that in the other place? That was in the other place. I don't know. But here it's still the people make the decisions, right? And then the Satrap just like makes decisions like that the people can't figure out. Now I'm getting my lore mixed up. I don't lore so good in this game. When I last visited, the city was brimming with life. I expect the tower has dampened the mood somewhat. Be it here or in Eorzea, all share in the desire to deliver the captives. Thus united, I pray that we may join in common cause with the Satrap. Yes, me too. All present? Then let us proceed. Owing to the threat of the tower, the city is currently in a state of high alert, and strict restrictions are in place for entry. Though you have been granted special permission, I ask that you remain close to me at all times. But I'm the champion of Eorzea! That was the answer we gave upon entry to Old Gridon. Go Old... Wow. Is it Gridon? No. I'm really bad at this, I'm sorry. My brain is extra asleep today.
A vast rock squats upon.
Oh, I love Shadowbringers. Oh my god. Charlian, thank you.
Clings the city of Razdhan.
Old Charlian.
Ye who enter here are subject to the scrutiny of gods, the gate's most watchful eye.
Ooh.
The orb which beholdeth the truth of all things.
Oh. We're rocking really slow in the rain. We're gonna get in there. We're all soaking wet.
Pass beneath its hot and piercing gaze, bearing down like a second midday sun.
Look at the stairs, man. Holy cow. Oh, it's so pretty.
The fragrant haze, a mixture of sweet incense and acrid smoke. The cries of merchants mingled here with lively melodies accented by dancers' feet.
Yay! Let's stop and watch the dancers.
Travelers seduced by vivid sound and colors were once swallowed up by patchwork streets.
Razdhan.
But no such scenes to savor now.
Aww.
To what somber present does that divine eye bear witness?
The walking animation in this game, that there is like a step too slow and it like pisses me off. I'm like, please just walk the tiniest bit faster. It's like not a natural pace at all. It's like we're trying to walk slowly.
Here we are. Megaduta.
Ooh, Megaduta. Wow. It's so colorful.
It seems a shame to bring you here directly. Under normal circumstances,
It would not
it would
be
have been
raining.
my pleasure to show you the sights.
Aww.
And it would have been our pleasure to see them. Alas, Seems our tour of the city will have to wait.
I'm afraid so. Come, we should head inside.
The rain is very appropriate. It's very, like, somber. I bring the rain talus, right? Were we saying that? In, where was it? In Stormblood. In that plane, when we first got to the plane. When I got there, it was raining. And everyone's like, it just doesn't rain in the zone. Like, it's always sunny. Like, it's sunny and clear skies at all times. It never, ever rains. And when I got there, the Azim Steppe, yeah, when I got there, it was raining. Everyone's like, what? It rains here? It's because I'm so thirsty. He's so cute. Adopt him. Take him home. Here, Alfie, I got you a brother. I got you a playmate. Hi, Willow. I like the music, too. Hey, and we're dry.
Your Excellency, may I present our honored visitors?
Ah, splendid. Most splendid.
Aha, His Excellency.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Ahawan,
Ahawan.
Satrap of Razdhan. Our alchemists tell me your assistance was invaluable in the creation of the warding scale. Such deeds ought to be recognized in person. Thus did I have young Varshan convey you here forthwith. On behalf of my people, may I express to you our sincere gratitude. I assume you speak of Nadana. A regrettable incident indeed. Her colleagues insist that we honor her wishes and trust in the talisman, that it will be instrumental in saving Nadana and the others. I am eager to hear your opinion on the matter, so let us not stand on ceremony. Come, sit.
Do we get wine?
I think not.
He's like, I can't sit. Uh-oh. Estinian about to mess all this up.
This charade has gone on long enough. Show yourself.
Forgive me, but were you expecting musicians, perhaps? There are no performers waiting in the wings at present, but arrangements could be made if you'd prefer.
I'm nervous because he has like a like Kefka feather coming out of his... Isn't that the crazy clown guy from 6?
Nay, he hath the right of it. The time for artifice is past. Raise the curtain.
Man, Estinian with his 6th sense, man.
As you wish.
Oh.
You travel as assistants to the students of Valdesian, but you are known to me. Even here have we heard of the scions of the Seventh Dawn.
Oh, the dragon. Dragoons can smell dragons, yes. Vritra.
And for years uncounted hath this isle served as mine abode.
Are you kept inside?
Vritra, of the first brood, sibling to Hraesvelga and Nidhogg.
Aye, mine elder brothers, of Midgard's Sorma's spawn. I was last to hatch.
Last to hatch.
Well, isn't this a surprise? We were told Razdhan had an alliance with a dragon. Not that a great worm sat in the Satrap's own hall.
A necessary subterfuge, as the true tale of our nation history illustrates most effectively. In the beginning, the rock upon which our city is built was home to Vitra, and Vitra alone. In time, the ancestors of the Matanga came to the island and established a foothold. But never did they dare disturb the worm's lair. Next to arrive were the Aura. Adopting the example of their Akasodra allies, they too treated Vitra with reverence and respect. And for many years, an understanding between our forefathers and the Great Worm endured.
But look at his eyes.
Until marauding heroes from the mainland came, threatening to shatter our peace and tranquility.
Rude.
When it seemed all would be drowned in blood, Vitra himself came forth and quelled the rising conflict.
Nice.
A peaceful accord was reached, and oaths sworn in Vitra's name. Thus began the dragon's governance of the fledgling state, which was to grow into Razdhan.
But if Ritra is still here, then your position as Satrap is just...
Angry piano guy is playing.
A charade, yes. And one which my family has performed faithfully for generations.
Many envy the great worms their power. Were it known that I ruled here, then the fires of war would burn without end. I would not be the flame which consumeth my people. Those few who join me in laying our country's foundations were, perforce, sworn to secrecy.
Your eye. It was taken.
Estinian asking the dragon questions.
'Tis here, buried within the semblance of flesh. The body before thee is but a simulacrum, constructed by the finest artisans of Razdhan. With mine eye nestled within, it doth serve as an inconspicuous vessel for my will.
That would explain why I felt the presence of a dragon upon our first meeting.
Before I was whisked away by scientists and poked and prodded.
I am woven with words fashioned to deceive such arcane senses. Though 'twas short-lived, it seemeth thy fusion with my brother hath left thee much altered. Estinian warm blood.
Are they gonna have a dragon off?
From the very first, we sensed the nature of one another. Yet did neither one of us bear his fangs.
So my son is not a he's not a kid. The kid is not a kid.
For now.
The kid is a construct with a dragon eye inside him. Whoo! What? That's a new one.
With my secret thus revealed, I have for you a
You must really trust us to reveal that.
not as a worm of the first brood, but as the ruler of Razdhan. With all haste must we take in hand the finished talismans and breach this foul spire. Thence, should it lay within our power, dispel its wicked influence. Yet even with the assurance of the warding scales, the narrow confines of the tower doth limit the size of our force.
It's a robot controlled by a dragon. He is.
Thy soldiers with care.
Just so. Yet though our radiant host is formidable, I see a surer path before me. Thou and thy comrades have contended with a multitude of primal beings. Most recently, thou didst cast down
Angry piano.
false gods in Pagalthan and Carter now, I am told.
I am the champion of
Tis upon
Eorzea.
that strength
Yes.
I would call. The Scions have proven themselves the most capable, and I ask that you serve as the tip of our spear.
I didn't see that
Talismans would, of
coming.
course,
Ah,
be
you're
provided for each of thy companions. And should you agree to this undertaking, more will be provided to make use of as you see fit.
There's no denying it's a dangerous proposition, but the rewards may far outweigh the risk. Just think of what we might accomplish if we could equip all our allies with warding scales. I worry, however, that even the 4 of us may be too few for what you have in mind. Might we regroup with our friends first to discuss the matter?
'Tis no trifling
The
task
tower's
that
not
I have laid
going
before you.
anywhere. Thank you, Regal.
Steel your hearts and hone your plans. Such time as you require shall be spent in crafting your protective
Perfect.
charms.
Perfect.
It seems a quick trip back to Sharlayan is in order.
Stidion's
Thou not lend
out of
thy
here.
aid?
Whether your request be made as a great worm or the ruler of Razdhan, I see no reason to refuse, nor will I.
Estinian and his expensive hair tie are in.
Thy debt.
Yes. Yes. Estinian is badass. Oh my god, it's still raining. Holy crap, it's raining even harder now. That meeting took a rather unexpected turn, but we now have a clear objective ahead of us. Let us rejoin our comrades in Sharlayan and muster a suitable crew for our foray into the Tower of Zalt. Oh, and if you haven't already done so, be sure to attune to the Aetherite here before departing. Thank you, Thancred. Unless, of course, you enjoy violent nausea. Is that a bunny boy? Bunny boy! Bunny boys! Is that... Oh, that is a nasty looking jungle beholder. Marlboro. I don't think we can, so we can't go in there now. But yeah, I attuned to the one back there. Yeah, I have that one. Okay. Speak with Thancred in the main hall. We really need to set that one as our home point. Wow, so my son is maybe not so much my son. Chalice, you didn't tell me our son was an eyeball. That's a pretty dress. It's like a wedding dress. I'm still adopting him too. There's a quote. You didn't tell us our son was an eyeball. Oop, wait. This isn't where I'm supposed to go. The conflict between Needhogg and I is in the past, and though they were brothers, it has no bearing on my view of Vitra. Above all else, he is a leader of men, not an enemy. He would hardly dedicate his life to the endeavor if he bore our kind any ill will. Oh, what's up, Ariane? I'm hurting my neck here. Vitra and his alchemists have prepared us for our foray into the tower. What we may accomplish within its twisted halls remaineth to be seen. That Arxidora languish in Telefroy chains doth forewarn us of the nature of our foe. 'Tis the gods of Thavnir who will be summoned to thwart us. That you said that confusingly on purpose. Just as I was getting used to balmy Thavnir, we're back in chilly Sharlayan. Take care not to catch your death, eh? We need you for the battles to come. Cuddle up with me, Thancred. I need warmth. Now then, your investigation here remains, but when that's over, we can take stock of all the developments and discoveries. Perfect! Now we get to go hang out with Alfie. And everybody else, but mostly Alfie. I love him for who he is, eyeball or no. We could see him as a baby dragon. He's a baby dragon. Bunny boys, bunny boys, bunny boys. He's still a precious little boy. Hey, Sailor Badger, you are perfect timing. We're gonna go meet Kryl and see how we can help her and Alfie and Alisaie and Y'shtola and Grahatia. It's all of our other best friends. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Nomenon, Sharlayan's greatest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that, for the archives of Nomenon extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the great Gubal Library pale in comparison to Nomenon's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen of Sharlayan is free to enter and peruse its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only Archons are afforded access to certain restricted vaults. I've dispatched Y'shtola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alisaie and Alphino will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Sharlayan history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let us be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once they found some promising tomes. Happy reading! We get to go to the library! Wow! Look at the floor. It's like a generated floor. Looks like jade. They don't let you fall down there. This is a lot. This is just the first floor. The title on the spine reads An Introduction to the Heavens. Have you ever gazed at the skies above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? I speak not of shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, of the sun and the twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be a finite space, yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar's depiction of a boundless sea of stars has firmly taken root. Alas, this heavenly sea remains unreachable, unknowable destination. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Alag who came closest to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalamud and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past, that their positions continue to shift almost imperceptibly but measurably as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? This book is on the wrong subject. Search for works which contain details on the forum or mention the history of Charlatan. But it was still a good read. I know, right? I want to sit with Grahatia and read. He's just losing his mind because he's a book nerd. The voice of a growing city. In the years which followed the founding of Charlatan, civic policy and other matters of import were decided at the Ecclesia, a public forum at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, this format became increasingly impractical. The larger number of participants... Fatter cat just rolling around on the ground. The larger number of participants gave rise to even longer debates, resulting in significant delays of vital resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to curtail protracted discussions, but in the year 201 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Charlatan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would now be led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus the forum as we know it today, conceived and created. There you go. I'm busy. Roads of Old, the colony. Many years ago, on the banks of Thaliak in the Dravanian hinterlands, a Charlatan colony once thrived. This settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the Aetherial Sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a gradual expansion in structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share the renowned wisdom of the Charlatans. 50 years later, the Forum passed a motion to recognize what had become a flourishing town as an official Charlatan colony. Eorzean residents took to calling the colony itself Charlatan, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussions turned to the subject of Motherland. Thank you! Hey, what's up, Solvest? Currently playing through the last bit of the main Shadowbringer story, so I won't stay. Nevertheless, I hope you're having fun with the other. Oh, thank you so much for stopping by, Solvest, and have so much fun with Shadowbringers. It is incredible. It's so good. Enjoy it. Thank you so much for stopping by. In response, some Charlatan inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the Great Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Idleshire. Oh my god, the lore nerds were just like going crazy here. The story of Charlatan, here we go. Long, long ago, on an island in the Northern Sea, there lived a Rogadin man by the name of Numkrep. Numkrep was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for that imperiled realm. The flood arrived as foretold, and to their horror, the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Numkrep's crew hauled them aboard his ark. But the danger had not paused. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Neumkrep wove a mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safety atop Abalthia's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to the violence and bloodshed. Saddened by the sight, Neumkrep gathered to him his crew and his grateful passengers and abandoned the Ark to those reddened peaks. They journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent on returning to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon that very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and in time it became the city of Sharlayan we live in to this day. Oh, nice. Oh, Reaper. Reaper looks so fun. Like, it just looks cool. I'm definitely gonna give Sage a try as a healer. During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Neumkrep, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness and savagery of men brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island in northern Empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of the Savior and thenceforth served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a home unlike any other, a nation born from strengths of mind rather than strength of arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agriculture came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be bartered for wealth and coin, and the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlayan would live by their founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they would eschew the tools of war and with knowledge deliver the world. Very good. I want to see what the other ones say. Forever 20 Summers. Is this a Snargle Goldclaw book? Where's the spicy stuff? My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed and rest your body as you should? I, too, once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night, engrossed in philosophical study, I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so very few years of life in which to achieve our goals. This is the one that gets real, right? Thus, do I share with you this mantra: I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You could be 19 or 23 or 40, whatever age you are when you discover this manual. Let that be the age you aspire to remain. Through mindful, healthy living, will you extend the time available to spend upon your chosen research. Another day, another moon, and another summer to grasp the greater truths you pursue. In the pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, aetherological, and arcane viewpoint. Yes! That's the healthy book! That's the healthy book. That's what we say. Get up and stretch, get a drink, get a snack, take a break, and rest your eyes. And be healthy, because the healthier you are now, the more you can game later. And the more you can game now. It's the Healthy Gaming Handbook right there. And it's well worn. That means lots of people are practicing it. I agree, Emerald Knight. Where are the fanfics? Where's the spicy fiction? Right? The stretching feels so nice. It does. Oh, good. I gotta remember to like turn my head, because I don't do enough. I don't like stretch my head from side to side enough. That's in the restricted section, Willow. You need to show your ID to get into that section. Oh. Or just click, yes, I am over 18. Oh, that was so cool. There's a place like this in Guild Wars as well. In the big library, you just go around and read the books. Graha, we didn't lose you in the archives. Sorry, were you waiting long? I wanted to make sure I'd borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alphino and Kryl should also be along shortly. Wasn't Istrola here too? Or did she go do something else? I was delayed in similar fashion. As far as I could see, no titles in the Archon stacks mentioned the final days specifically, so we have no choice but to start with the tangentially relevant tomes, if they are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through as quickly as we dare and share our discoveries as we make them. It would have been nice to invite everyone to the estate. Plenty of comfortable places to read and a ready supply of hot tea. Aww. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not... Oh, that sounds lovely. But it's not about the little pleasures, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphino and I were to return to Sharlayan, we were not allowed access to the... We're not to be allowed across the threshold. So freaking rude, dude. Jeez. A harsh measure indeed. I hope that our efforts to understand his position and that of the Forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day. I'm certain of it. Oh. And what of you, Graha? Have you been to visit your family, or do they not live here in the city? I was going to say, isn't he like 500 years old or something? They're not going to be around, right? Well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather further away. Or time works differently. No, because time works differently in the first. In the southern reaches of Ilzabard, in fact, for generations, my people have dwelt in Corvos, the coastal region opposite the island of Tovner. The Alligans founded a city in that fertile land, and by ship brought in the subjugated tribes of the Mikote to serve as laborers. Of course, the massive earthquakes of the Fourth Umbral Calamity brought an end to the Empire's reign, and when the Fifth Calamity froze the seas solid, many of the tribes still living in Corvos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain, that they might prevent the remnants of the Allagan technology from being misused. Isn't Corvos under Garlean rule? For the past 50 years, yes. Some semblance of local culture remains, as is the case for most imperial provinces, but Garlemald reclaimed the region Locus Amoenus. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darnus. House Darnus demonstrated a singular interest in Allagan civilization, and so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices had been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the Allagan Eye no longer passed to our eldest children as reliably as it once had. Fear of discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the decision was made to bury our ties to the knowledge and traditions of Allag. As the last child born with the Allagan Eye, I was given over to the custody of friends in the students of Baldessian, who had me registered as a Sharlayan citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louis Sois, was he not? Stories of adopted wives and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlayans than you might think. Yet regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient what is that word? perspicacity. The quality of having a ready insight into things, or a shrewdness.
Perspicacity.
Perspicacity. Perspicacity. Sorry, that was really loud. Perspicacity. And with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even learn the vaunted title of Archon. 'Tis exactly why I have such a love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation of which its citizens can be proud. Hear, hear. Another good reason to get to the bottom of the forum's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Aw, I like this music. Yeah, it's very sweet. Excuse us while we try to make some headway into these books, Luna. More company should be arriving any moment now. There are others better suited to poring over old history books, so I thought I'd try my luck with more recent events. Look at her reading the book! Aww. If I can find anything better to inform the forum's baffling behavior. Aww. Them with their pile of books. What else do I know of Corvos? Precious little, I'm afraid. I've not returned since Master Galuf first brought me here. I can tell you that Corvosi rebels still seek to slip the yoke of their imperial masters, though the fighting is far less fierce than it once was. Oh, and they have carpets! Flying carpets! The legends are quite extraordinary. He's so cute. I know, he's so sweet. My son! Seriously, where was Y'shtola? What did she go and do? We've returned with our selections. Although I must say, the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mistress Kryal had already flicked through every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into research papers on the umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps their knowledge of the final days comes from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one here who didn't witness the events of Amarot firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. I got you, Kryal. Too bad it's not. Too bad it's so dark. They're like over there reading books in the dark. My thanks. Now where to begin? First things first. What kind of phenomena did the ancients... Is this... Oh no, is this a quiz? On the end of Shadowbringers? What kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? Oh no, it's a quiz! Oh no! Oh, I'm not so good at the lore of this game. I'm here for the characters, not the lore. I mean, I try my best, but... Which is weird, because in Guild Wars 2, the thing I like most is actually the lore. Like that, like in Guild Wars, this would all be like infinitely fascinating to me. Okay, a complete destabilization of creation magics. That's Guild Wars. Primals of unrivaled power were summoned from the ether, or the worst kind of phenomena you can imagine. It was the primals, right? It was like Zodiark and Hydaelyn. After. Oh, that was after. Okay. Hey, at least I got the Zodiark and Hydaelyn right. I believe Hydaelyn and Zodiark were summoned after the final days had arrived. Quite deliberately, in fact. If we are speaking of phenomena caused by the final days, the chaos of creation magics run rampant is what first comes to mind. Fear and... Thank you, Alfie. Please correct me on every answer. Fear and despair manifested in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors raining from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the arts of creation had survived until the present day, we might have something substantial to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. Y'shtola surmises that the closest known magic is that of summoning rituals promulgated by the Asians. Damn Asians. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? Heralded the approach of the final days. Alright, the entire star was engulfed by disaster all at once. They say it began with a keening sound from the land itself. Alphino, you can answer this one. I'm gonna let Alfie answer. Alfie, you can answer this one. He'll be happy to. Me? Well, as you wish. You're smart, Alfie. The Almoratines were debating the cause of an anomaly which had been observed in the lands across the sea. By this fact alone, we can deduce that the final days occurred not all at once the world over, but rather had a point of origin from which it began to spread. Others also spoke of a keening sound rising from the land itself, just before that's what I was going to say if I didn't have Alfie answer. Just before a region was visited by catastrophe. We never did hear this sound ourselves, of course, thrust as we were into the midst of madness. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive and probably quite loud. That's actually, like, one of the things that, like, can like, really creep me out is weird sounds. Like, if I watch the YouTube videos of, like, unexplained sounds coming from the ocean or the sky or the mountains or something, like, that'll freak me out. Like, I don't know why it, like, scares me so bad, because it's creepy. Aaron, thank you for the 63 months. You are so kind. Thank you so much for the support. You just beat Endwalker 2 days ago. It was super neato. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you. Thank you, Aaron. I'm loving it so far. It's really good. And I'm, like, still way at the beginning. I'll have to speak with one of Nominon's mammoths and ask after any books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive action did they take? They summoned Zodiark, they summoned Hydaelyn, or they knocked Dalamud from the sky. Those all sound right. I feel like it's this one. They totally summoned Zodiark. Correct me, Alfie. Oh, Alfie's proud of me. I got it right! Yes, with Elidibus serving as his heart. So many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiark brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will were the laws of nature set aright. I got it. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives sprouted anew, and it was these fledgling souls that intended to render unto Zodiark a trade that would have allowed them to resurrect the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Venat and her fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events, and so does the player. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telephoroi truly mean when they speak of bringing back the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. Is forcing people to summon primals a kind of catalyst? Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech, a convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash? I don't know, it's Fantannual. It really could be, like, whatever. But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let us return our attention to the forum, shall we? We should keep an eye out for Y'shtola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. Because Alfie loves studying. Oh, wait. It really is comforting to have all these dedicated assistants on hand. Right then, enough chatting, more reading. My son, look at him all the way over here by himself. He's so cute. Oh my god. I'm gonna sit down next to you. Can I sit? Oh. My son. Hi, my son. How are you? What are you reading? What are you reading? Have you eaten anything? Are you hydrating? You're awful wobbly there. I think you need a nap. Here, rest your head on my shoulder and take a nap, Alfie. He looks very tired. He's concentrating very hard. This is gonna hurt your neck, Alfie, please. I'm an old woman. I can't see you hold your head forward reading like that. That'll hurt your spine after a while. I know. I'm like working to correct that right now. It's bad. Alfie, are you eating? Are you drinking water? Are you taking breaks? Are you taking walks? Are you exercising? I love you. Many forum members are also researchers or professors. If they know aught... Drink aught! Everybody drink! If they know aught of the final days, then that knowledge might surface in their writing. That is my hope anyway. Did they say the same thing? Yep. Flying carpets. I am totally helping with the research. Look at me go. There's Y'shtola. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced 1 or 2 possibly useful books. But I wouldn't get your hopes up. If you recall... Wait. If she's blind, how is she reading the books? If you recall, Urianger learned of the source's reflections from the Garon oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed apocrypha and sealed away in the Great Google Library. 'Tis even less likely that knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the horrors of the final days, would be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. It stands to reason, then, that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should perforce be largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confronted Master Forshno with knowledge of the Telefroi and their machinations, he scoffed at the suggestion that they posed a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us, which only supports the conclusion that whatever privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior, it is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Your third favorite and your waifu? Yes. Y'shtola is amazing. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or no, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Is it snowing now? See, Y'shtola can read, but she, like, has to hold the book, like, this close. You labor for what feels like an age as Y'shtola's research assistant. She got the biggest stack of everyone. Thank you for your help, but I think I can manage the rest without your assistance. If I were you, I'd steal I'd steal a few quiet moments for myself. No, seriously, how can she read? She's blind, right? I thought she was blind. Oh Oh dear, you look exhausted. But what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? Then the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a mammoth at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For the moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with our research for quite some time. Ah. Whoop. Hold on. Can I glamour here? I can. Okay. So. Equip. Whoa. Oh, cute. Well, that's certainly warmer. That's cute. Is that what I've been earning? Look at my mittens. Those aren't mittens. I thought they were mittens. It's cute. I'm warm. Look at the staff. It's like a winged dragon staff. Aw. This is cute. She can see the ink's ether, right? Who knows? Who's that? Alisaie appears in desperate need of a study break. Tea! Let's go get tea, Alisaie. Ready for a tea break, Luna? I know I am. Yes, I am! Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around for a bit. Yes, they are. Take breaks. Welcome back, Talus. You know the last stand down in the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside tables, and I'll treat you to their coffee. It's quite good. Coffee? Whoa. She's been studying for a long time. Oh my god, are we finally going to get an in-game tea time with Alisaie? That person's armor is super pretty. I love that armor. That's really, 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 really pretty. I like tiered fabric like that. It's got the little hood. I like that. Well, I did find one paper focused on the world before the advent of the first umbral calamity, but it reads more like a work of fanciful fiction than an actual academic supposition. Thank you for your help. I think I can manage the rest without your assistance. Okay. Okay, Talus, no, seriously, do you know? How can Y'shtola read? How is she reading the books? I found naught of interest so far. I think Y'shtola might be right about not getting our hopes up. Your efforts to gain Grahatia's attention go unnoticed. He appears to be lost in his reading. Aww, cute. Okay, so they just don't explain it. They just don't explain how she can read. I'm gonna go with Willow's explanation that she can see the ink's ether. I'm gonna go with that. That's the level 90 white mage gear? Really? Yay! It's so pretty! They designed white mage armor just for me. Oh yay, and it got sunny for going to the cafe with Alisaie. As busy as ever, I see. How very Charlian that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place an order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telefroy. We might even learn something new. Worth a shot, don't you think? Alisaie is now accompanying you! Keep her at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. I would never leave Alisaie behind. Yay! Yay! Let's run around with Alisaie! Yay! I'm gonna walk backwards so I can see her. She just wanted... We're going on a cafe date. Alisaie just wanted an excuse to hang out with me. Biscuit. Biscuit. That's what I'm wondering, Alair, because yeah, she can see the ether. So, like, but you wouldn't think that she could read a book, but I guess she can. Hey, Dekakura! Who the woo? What's up? Every time I see a gazebo in this game, I think of Hildebrand. Biscuits, you want out? If Daredevil can read books by feeling the ink on the page, Y'shtola can do whatever she wants. I mean, that's just in general. Y'shtola can do whatever she wants. So, if Y'shtola says she can read, then she can read. Oh wait, I can talk to her. Someone here at the cafe should be willing to speak with us. Let's ask around. She just wants to walk around with us. Are there any of those circles? Maybe we can like look at other stuff. Look at the little llamas! They're so cute. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. Pray excuse the interruption. Oh, pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telefroy and their unconscionable plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Levier. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the Forum, and if word reached Master Fortunel that I was helping you... I see. We're sorry to have bothered you. Oh, so rude, Alisaie. She didn't have any good info anyway. What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private respite? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. You misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Telefroy. These enemies of peace have promised an end to all we hold dear, and... Wait, you're that House Levier girl, aren't you? And this woman with you is obviously a foreigner. I'd heard you were disowned for helping outsiders indulge in their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to the rumor. I'll thank you to leave me be. I've naught to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Twas foolish of me to expect an ounce of civility from one so enlightened. Come, Luna. That's right. Spit it back in his face, Alisaie. You don't need any of them. You don't need anybody but me, Alisaie. You don't need anybody but me, okay? I love you, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters, okay? I love you very much. Well, the customers have been decidedly uncooperative. Maybe the staff will be more willing to answer our questions. I kind of doubt it, but we'll try. Come on, Dickin. Welcome, madam. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alisaie I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickin, the owner of The Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the studium. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphino had set sail for Eorzea, but then you never came back. Lately there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything all right at home? Obviously not! Yes, Alisaie was a student, so the coffee shop guy loves her. Charlabucks, yes. Oh, really, Talus? There you go. Talus says it is true that to craft ink as an alchemist, you need to put in ether crystals. Well, there you go. Then ink has even a tiny bit of ether, so she can see it. I love it. It's canon. Oh, Alisaie, baby. It's complicated, and I hadn't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Levier. No matter how discreet Master Fortuneau may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now of all times? We have questions, and only Charlian has the answers. Excuse me. Tell me, Master Dickon. Now, how do you pronounce his name? Dickon? 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 Deacon. I don't. It can be nothing but Dickon. Have you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days? What? Like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find? Information on this apocalypse? Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. Free coffee for anyone who talks! But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Charlian, aren't you? Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. Ah! We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might just get the answers you're looking for. Dickon, you're a genius! Not a bad idea. I hate to ask, but what do you think? That's what I'm here for! Will it give me experience points? That's the spirit. Pay attention now, and I'll explain where each of these dishes need to go. The tea set is for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. The omelet is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gisela. She's sitting at an outside table with a friend of hers. Behind them, you should see a Mikote gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain it again. Good luck. Alright, Mikote's got the lobster. Someone sitting with her friend has the eggs, and the people by the water have the other thing. I think you'll be better off if I stay here out of sight. Find out what you can, and there will be a hot cup of coffee waiting for you. Yes! I'll drink mud if it means I get to sit and just have a drink with you, Alisaie. So cute. This is the... Wait. There's Mikote. Oh, crap. No, wait. Okay, so there's those people. Where are the others? Here's Gisela. That was the omelet. The Gazette featured a piece about a so-called champion of Eorzea. They say this barbaric hero had prevailed in a multitude of battles, like some avatar of perfected violence. And it's almost uncanny how closely you match the given description. What an odd coincidence! Nah. Caffeinated mud, right? The oven-baked lobster is one of the Last Stand's most famous dishes. The flavor is said to be phenomenal, but unfortunately, so is the price. Okay. This one is the tea set, I believe. Oh, my tea set. Lovely. Thank you. Like her corset. The Telufo who? I'm sorry. I've never heard of them or their final days. My friends and I are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you wanted to hear about ritual arcane practices of the Sixth Astral Era, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. Gods above, I'm starving. I've never known the service to be this slow. Well, you're not getting your eggs. Ah, finally. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's dig in. No time to waste. Does she have 8 eggs? That is a giant omelet! What? The Telephoroi? Oh, yes. I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Same old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. You don't need to butter me up, you know. I've already ordered one of the most expensive things on the menu. You just said I'm rich, you know. Ah, at last, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimped and saved and suffered to avoid this heavenly dish. Look at that. Final days. This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. It must be a busy time to be a gleaner. What? You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of a sort. Travel the world, procuring things that we haven't got here in Charlian. Priceless books, unusual live specimens, and so forth. So named for the folk who trail after the reapers in the field, picking up every grain which was missed. Aye, by all accounts, gleaning is a most meticulous and demanding profession. If these Telephoroi make good on their audacious threats, then many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before, not like this. This is so pretty. What a place to sit and eat. Ah, Talus. I actually have the same thing. I have the chat log, but I have it just really tiny. It like only shows the last line. Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Interesting. They seem unaware of the final days, aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. We need to read this gazette. Kirtana! Hi, Kirtana! Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, then they've done an impressive job of ensuring no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing the part so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised. Don't just hand it to me, actually have coffee with me. But let's enjoy our drinks somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and their wagging tongues. Yes, yes, yes. Don't tease me again, game. Don't tease me again. Because you promised me tea with Alisaie, like, back in, like, was that back at Stormblood, I think. And then we never had it in game. So, don't tease me again. By promising me tea with Alisaie and then just being like, nah. Go read your fan fiction if you want tea with Alisaie. Yes, this should do nicely. Out of the wind and out of sight. Yes, please. Please? Please? Yay! It's not at like a cute little, like, cafe table, but that's okay. Did we finally get to have our coffee with Alisaie?
I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Yes! Yes! I'm just gonna savor this for a minute. Fine, it took a couple years, but it finally happened.
It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant.
Could be.
Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Charlian? Grahas said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alphino, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently.
Oh, Peppy needs a hug. Oh, when you did this, it was nighttime and she was so pretty with the stars and the steam of the coffee. Oh, I'm so glad it's not like raining. Who needs the MSQ when we have tea with Alisaie? That's right. I'm so happy.
It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been. How being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently.
No, don't do that to yourself, Alisaie. There's our gleaners.
They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos. A vast complex beneath the island. Charlian is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility.
Whoa.
Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait, didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Oh, I know what we're breaking into. Come on, Alisaie and I, sleuthing adventure. Just the two of us. We're gonna sleuth. I like how my tail is like wrapped around at the side. Da, da, da. Level up! Level 81. Alisaie is excited to share your revelations. Okay, wait, hold on. Yep, yes. We should tell the others what we learned about the gleaners. Go on ahead to Nunaman, and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. Aww. We got to have tea with Alisaie. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. Let me update my level 81. Yay! Speaking of, we should probably stretch. Since this game is telling us how healthy, how we need to be healthy. Yeah, we're gonna go up there. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Did I get this aetheryte crystal up here? This little transport crystal? Luna looks comfy. This is my new armor they gave me. It is comfy. It snows here. It's cold here, so. I haven't gotten my new boots yet. I got the, I think. I got the staff, the coat, and then the gloves, I think. Oh, I'm not attuned to this. Wiggle waggle. Aha. Alright, give me a sec. I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna be healthy. Let's be healthy. Let's go sit by Alfie. Whoop, sorry, Alfie. There, sorry. Just don't sit on Alfie. There you go. There you go. What you reading, Alfie? He seriously looks like he's about to fall asleep. Okay, we're gonna hang out with Alfie. Get up and stretch, grab a drink, grab a snack, get some water, and hydrate, and rest your eyes from the screen for just a moment, and I will be back. Thanks for hanging out. Ooh, a labyrinthine descent. Oh, I just like the name. Oh my god, it was gonna log me out. Was I really gone for that long? Bum, bum. Welcome back, standby. Ivy, Regal, Talus. Welcome back, Luna. Been for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Yeah, actually, yes. Yes, I did, Kryle. Peachy, you have been creepily staring at Alfie for a while now. He's so absorbed in his book, he doesn't mind his mom sitting next to him while he studies. Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the gleaners. The who? The what? It makes sense. The gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the forum. A sudden and significant increase in gleaner traffic and in cargo. It certainly gives the impression of an overarching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. As Y'shtola observed earlier, Nomenon's archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Luna and Alisaie learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Charlians know nothing of that particular period of ancient history. Yet my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somehow certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telephoroi is wholly unlike these apocalyptic events. Really, tell us. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they saw fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it is stretched to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive ends. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves. If we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. What should we expect? Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise! As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. Thanks, Gra! That would a great help? That would be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. That would a great help. Right, Talus? My god, maybe if you like put in less just filler whatever words every other sentence. Every other line. It'd be easier to proofread. Ready? Labyrinthos is not too far from here, but you may find the path a bit disorienting. With how much dialogue and fancy dialogue and thesaurus using there is in this game, I'm surprised there's not more typos, honestly. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Off we go, then. Batter cat. Try and keep up, and she's just like casually walk. I don't. What's my walk button in this game? I don't know. I forget. It's pleasant here amongst the tree. Boy, now we're like going on a little romantic stroll with Alisaie, but we really should move along. I'm following you, girl. She's just... Bum, bum. Now we run! Try to keep up! Okay. It's I think Game Awards is tomorrow night. I would rather have the fancy language and have it be concise than the filler words. There's filler words and phrases and like literally it's like, are you getting paid per word? Because they add so much filler. It's a little... that it's noticeable. The Razdhan, not far now. See, there you go. See, she said the Razdhan, not far now, and like, you could, like, if I was getting paid for the word, here we go, the Razdhan, the place that we are going. I'm so glad we made it here in one piece. That was quite a trip, wasn't it? That was a run down the path. Like, the Razdhan. No, that's all you need. Like literally, that's what they do in this game. And it gets tiring after a while. You're like, okay, here we are, through this door and down the stairs. You did remember to attune to the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life so much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Remember to attune to the shard before we go. Come on, let's go. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it's flavor, you know, it gives character, like Urianger, the way he speaks, it's you know, it's different from everybody else. And so those extra words can help give that flair to a character. But like, when every character is like, especially NPCs, oh my god. When NPCs just go, like, there's so many filler words. It's like, come on, get to the point. Oh my gosh. Hey guys. You didn't take a wrong turn into the Razdhan there, did you? I doubt the forum would take kindly to you barging into a private session. Probably. I have not been to Labyrinthos in the longest time. Even as a student, my visits were few and far between. How did the Forum learn of the final days, and exactly how much do they know? More to the point, what do they intend to do about it? Hopefully the answer to at least one of those questions lies below. I hope so. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Boy, good thing we got Cryo. Did you? You went into the Forum during that... Alisaie, always watching. Spec. Oh my gosh, when like the door takes too long to open, but like you're forced to sit through the animation? Yes.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky. In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves, and this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation.
Jeeps!
Knowledge, buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Labyrinthos. I mean, there's worse places to be stuck. At least there's books everywhere.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing.
So, a fabricated city with a fabricated sky way underground. Wasn't that, like... What is it, Amarat? That city at the end of Shadowbringers? Wasn't that the exact same thing? It was, like, under the sea? It's kind of weird. Impossible, Spec!
But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
Oh, it was a projection. Okay.
The island is volcanic,
Very
you see.
convincing projection.
And once upon a time, this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years
Alisaie
ago,
is excited.
at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
But what was a volcano? What if the volcano goes off again?
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Uh-oh. Echo?
Did you call to me just now?
Oh.
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Because that's always benign. Ah, it means nothing. Excuse me, are you a gleaner? If you don't mind, I have some questions to ask. Just going for it. What is that? Little thing hopping around. You here to help or give me more headaches? Because if you don't have the look of a gleaner, and I'm in no mood for idle chatter. Wait, is that an NPC bunny boy? One of my colleagues was so exhausted he took a tumble and crashed into a pile of crates. Now I have a pack of marmots running loose. Your exchange with Erenville has taught you about exhausted gleaners. Alright. They're tired. They have been worked to the bone. Let me think. The Rhea seed should be item 1058, cumin seeds 1059, Snurpleberry 1060, or were they 1061? Ugh, my head feels like it's stuffed with moko grass. Why more loads to take out than carry in? Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? What if someone mistakes the Corthan carrots for the Girabanian carrots? What then? Your exchange with Tiev has taught you about large shipments coming in and out of Labyrinthos. Well, we knew that. Cryle got an anime headache. Most of those gathered here appear to be gleaners. Why don't you wander around and try making small talk? They tired. Dobbin. Hey, Dobbin. You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and ore and fauna. If it needs hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in Labyrinthos. You know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this before, though. They just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mess gets dropped in our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I know the reason. Could be that they're changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion? Your exchange with Dobbin has taught you about taking stock in Labyrinthos. Any luck, Luna? What tales did the Gleaners have to tell? Here, this. Thank you, Regal. So this grand operation began without warning, and for every item they bring in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain the haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right, the Forum is definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinthos upside down in the process. Ba-da-ba-da-da. By the way, anybody who wasn't here early this morning, the Peach Market is open for business. You guys can exchange the peaches that you have been saving up all year long and spend them in the market for prizes such as cards and games and sponsored streams, all kinds of fun stuff. Cryle appears lost in thought. Glorified rat catcher. We would do well to learn of what specifically the Gleaners are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game, Luna, I have an idea. What do I have to disguise myself as? Didn't one of the Gleaners you questioned say something about escaped marmots? Perhaps if you were to help him capture said creatures, he might be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. Can I just go help the guy carry books? In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this Gleaner here. We can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting! This guy, she says as this guy is like literally watching us have this conversation. I will help the bunny boy catch marmots. You wish to help me find the marmots? I have nothing suitable to pay you for your services, but if you're offering out of the goodness of your heart, I welcome the assistance. The name is Erenville, friend, specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these Nakshan marmots is a trial I've no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. There are no other marmot species on this tier at present, so there should be no mistaking our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them back in this sack. Gently, of course. Catching marmots and putting them in a sack. Perfect. Catching marmots. Catching marmots. Search for grizzled mice and defeat any enemies that appear. Go level up. Is there like a, aha. Rat sack! Yes. Oh, wait. Eat your waffle. Marmots. Here, marmots. There's a troll. Looks like that thing from that Rudolph special, the abominable snowman. I don't see any marmots. So hold up. If this is like an archive and like everything that's down here is stuff they bring down here, then why am I killing? Wouldn't these be like specimens? Why am I killing them? That's cat. There are like no marmots. Where? Grizzled mice. Somebody captured all the grizzled mice. There's none left. I guess we'll just kill trolls. Oh, fatter cat, I've missed you. Aha! Grizzled mouse. Hunting coyote. Uh-oh. He's scared. What? No, this is my grizzled mouse. Go away. What? No, this is mine. Go away. Chirp, chirp, squeak. Great. Get it. Barely have you readied the sack when the grizzled mouse scampers off into the underbush. Great. Good. Tiger's wood interrupted me. I tried to use my sack. I'm gonna blame that on Tiger's wood. I think he did. I think he stole my grizzled mouse. I don't want to do a fate. I want this grizzled mouse. Tiger's wood. Stay away. No, Tiger's wood. Stay away. Stay away. He's summoning coyotes. Out of the troll. This is my grizzled mouse, Tiger's wood. Use the sack. Oh, he ran away! The rodent nimbly evades your grasp before once more disappearing into the trees. Son of a bitch! Go away, troll. Probably up here. I will catch you. I will catch you. In my rat sack. Squeak, squeak, don't you run away. Aha! It even teleported me. I will deliver this squirming rat sack to the guy who wants it. And Tiger's wood, you can get your own grizzled rat sack. What's up, Grestim? The expansion is full of grizzled rat sacks. Rat sacks everywhere. No. But it's good, it's going good. How are you, Grestim? Alright. It's gonna like escape by the time I get to this guy. That is a big troll. A bunch of mordor moths running around here. What makes a rat sack grizzled? Tiger's wood. Here, I got your one. There's the odd marmot out. That guy really is good at catching grizzled rats. Bye. I feel like they shouldn't have made any NPCs bunny boys. Like, oh, they've just always been in the world. Like, no, they should be exclusive to players. Like, they all came out of the woods and put on clothes. You're welcome. Who tasked you to capture them? Ooh, the sun's rising. Manok, good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. I have been well, thank you. I hope you've been the same. Why the authority in charge of Labyrinthos, now and in perpetuity? The same officials who've had us working day and night of late. The honorable members of the Forum. Who else? You could have just said the members of the Forum. No, but you had to make the members of the Forum 3 sentences. This is what I'm talking about. Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. Those were the 2 conditions I was given for the stock I was instructed to procure. Well, then you're perfect for the job, because isn't that the point of bunny boys? I don't know what the Forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll be served for dinner today or tomorrow. There you are, Luna. Hey, sweets! Thank you! Thank you. It's been good. Is this the gleaner you mentioned? The one who was looking for lost marmots? Interesting company you keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I am Kryel of the Students of Baldessian. These others are my associates. No, we're Team Alfie. Truth be told, the Forum's decisions of late have not sat entirely well with us. That is why we made the descent into Labyrinthos. We hope that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning. Wise and practical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls. Other animals to capture and enclosures to empty. Once again, I'm sorry I can't offer you more for your services. Burned through all the story, was doing side questing, but decided the pressure to find out what happens next is off. I'll spend the rest of the evening watching streams in bed. Nice, nice. Now you just get to relax. Oh my gosh. I hope you loved it, sweets. I know you loved it. Yeah, I started yesterday, so took the weekend off, let all the early access, like, super fans get in and you know, work their way through it. And so I was like, yeah, I'll start on Tuesday and just play it all this week. Did you learn anything new from your friend there? Marmots! Grizzled marmots everywhere! So we've confirmed that the order for this ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. Thank you, Morgan. Thank you so much for the 41 months. Oh my gosh. It's good to see you. Happy... What day is it? Wednesday? I don't know what day it is. What day is it? Thank you, Morgan. Got to the last quest, so I had to finish, or else I wasn't going to be able to sleep. Oh my gosh, I can't even imagine. It took the whole week off. I have no idea what day it is. Oh my gosh, my days have been messed up since Thanksgiving. Never should have been worried about topping Shadowbringers. They were still holding back with that. Wow. Oh my gosh. And like, Shadowbringers was one of the greatest, like, MMO experiences I've ever had. Like, and this isn't even, like, my top MMO. Like... And Shadowbringers just blew me away. Oh. Wow. We also discovered when the operation was begun. The Forum contacted the Gleaners Guild ship and put their people to this great work some 4 days after the Telephoroi made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners kept abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus, I am inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Altogether, it gives the distinct impression that this undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development. Yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Labyrinthos and its archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Telephoroi's declaration was what set it all in motion? It seems likely, but let us not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we stand to find. In that case, how about we head to the Archaeon? Archaeon? From there, we can reach the lower... Oh no! It's more than an anime headache, Kryl. Or no, it's not a regular headache. It is an anime headache. For sure, Kryl. You need to pay attention. I'm fine, truly. The sudden descent has left me with a bit of a headache, that's all. No! Nothing that will stop me from soldiering on. Let's be about it then. There was a sound with that. I wonder if she's hearing the very early, like, tells of that sound. At least allow me to take the lead. I'm fairly certain I remember the way to the Archaeon. We follow the path east through the forest where you were chasing after that mouse, or marmot was it? Anyway, tis the trolls you need to watch out for. Ah, pushovers. squirming rat sack. It sounds like a squirming rat sack. Hey, what's up, Alaska? Oof, good luck in the queue. Yeah, the queues in the mornings are super short. And then it just gets longer and longer and longer throughout the day. That's why I'm very glad that my normal stream time starts at noon and not like 6 when everyone's home. You're on Genova too? Nice. Ooh, what is that? Labyrinth Nargururi. That's cute music. Don't worry about me. I'm hale and healthy. In fact, I'm beginning to suspect that... Nay, let's discuss this later. The investigation demands our undivided attention. Kryle's head's gonna pop. This is the foremost material archive in Sharlayan. I should love to explore its treasures shelf by shelf, but I fear we have little time for such indulgences. Were you caught in the mist on your way here? The sprayers keep the air humid so the habitat feels as close as possible to a natural forest. I got misted. Behold the Archaon. As Nomenon serves as Sharlayan's literary archive, so does this structure house the city's wealth of material data. The architecture, too, is similar. This building you see is merely the upper entrance, an access point to the vaults carved into the cliffside itself. With those vast rooms are stored countless samples and specimens, as well as the detailed records which describe them. In a manner of speaking, the Archaon contains a physical history of Sharlayan's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Good. Good. Yes, you do, Ixer. But I think it's like half an hour or something before you get booted. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, they've been doing things behind the scenes to, to accommodate more people playing because there's so many and the queue times are so long, which is understandable for an MMO for, you know, launch week, especially an MMO of this size player base. It's totally understandable. But I can understand people who don't have a lot of time to play. You know, maybe they only have an hour in the evening to play and they can't afford for that hour to be spent in queue, you know? So I totally get it. I get the frustration, but like they're doing all they can. Alphina was gazing into the Archaon with an appraising look. Well, we won't learn anything of value standing out here. Let us proceed into the main building and speak with the custodian. Did I get another armor piece? I get another armor piece from this quest. No. What's in water? Bzz. That is a fabulous chocobo. Hi, you are the most fabulous chocobo I've ever seen. Oh, is that Titania? That's what I love, Sweets, is that the creators actually care about their player base. Like, they really, really do. It's so, like, apparent in everything they do. Holy bag space. This game, I have no clue what anything is in my bag. Like, I try and keep it so that there's some spots free so that if I get items, like, I'm not full up. But, like, everything sitting in there, I just don't know what to do with, or I don't know what it is. Or what it's used for. Greetings. We are here to peruse the Archaeon's vaults. Peruse? You are clearly not gleaners, then. Might I ask your affiliation? We belong to the students of Baldessian, and I'm the champion of Eorzea. They're like, Luna, shh. But is that relevant? I was given to believe that the vaults, those open to the public at least, were open to the public. Ordinarily, yes, that would be the case. At present, however, access is restricted. Only persons directly involved in the reorganization efforts are permitted to enter. Well, looks like we're hauling books. Not us, then. I suppose we had better move along to another facility. Giving up so soon, Y'shtola? This building has a lift which connects to the middle tier, yes? Might we at least make use of that? That service has also been suspended, I am afraid. For the time being, priority has been given over the conveyance of inventory. What? So this is as far as we can go? I apologize for the inconvenience. Please come again after our restructuring operation is concluded. Roll diplomacy, Alfie. By that time, it'll be too late, and we were so close to getting answers. Just ask this guy. We need to rethink our approach. Let us step outside for the moment, shall we? Come on, Alfie, you can get us in. Students of Baldessian. Humph. He humphed at us. Labyrinthos is constructed in the shape of a mortar. This upper layer is called the outer circuit, and the medial circuit lies one tier below us. That's a weird little musical transition there. Whoa! If they're going to close off facilities, they ought to announce it. The students must be furious. Well, maybe they did. You just don't get the student newsletter, Alisaie. The forum must be wary of exposure. Exposure indeed to so heavily restrict the use of... Alfie! Is that a sentence? We are at an impasse. As we have no other leads, I should like to pursue this one further. Go get him, Y'shtola. But I doubt that our stone-faced custodian will be swayed by heartfelt pleas. We must seek out another means to access the lower level. She means to break in. 'Tis likely that the people in this area are involved in the restructuring in one way or another. If we were to ingratiate ourselves, they might allow us to accompany them on the lift. Let us ask around. Surely someone is in need of a few strong backs to lighten the load. Hi, Chocobo. Hey, what's up? You ever just stand around talking to Y'shtola and get a chocobo butt in your face? I have. Yeah, sometimes a comma wouldn't hurt. Don't be... Hi! He's keeping me warm. It's cold. It's cold. He's like, I heard that you were cold, so I am warming you with my entire being. Giggly Death and Glazy. Welcome, Warrior of Light. Giggly Death and Glazy. Let's see. Speak to people outside the Archaeon. Can I speak to Giggly Death? Bone Weary Worker. Seriously, let's just disguise ourselves as gleaners. What's that? Take you down on the lift with me? Sorry, but not a chance. I've been up and down all day, and only now have I finally found a spare moment to rest. Can I have your clothes? I did see a gleaner fellow heading out the gate there, though, shouldering a large pack, engaged in some manner of task. Maybe he'll be headed down below after he's done with whatever he's doing. Oh. Would that be Chatbert? No. Not Chatbert. He pointed this way. What's worse, Chocobot or Giant Char? Definitely Giant Char. The Chocobo knows not what it does. Char do. Am I taking the lift? Oh no, we're just students. They won't let us into the Archaeon, even though we found... Actually, we have no idea what it is we found. There's no record of such a creature anywhere, but it was wandering around Tranquility, and so we thought to donate it to the vaults. Ah! Oddest little squeal, don't you think? Anyway, I suppose we'll have to take care of it until the Archaeon is open again. I'll take it. What? Oh my god. Oh, this way. I know, what's in that box? Some creature they had never seen before. Good night, Jezebel. Pack-bearing gleaner. Is that our bunny friend? It is. Quiet, you'll frighten it away. Actually, I think that's a girl. I've been calling that a guy. I don't know. It could be either. I apologize to this bunny person. Oh, it's you again. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm in the middle of another task. The cloudkin I need to capture is close, very close. I got a giant bag. Do you wish to help me with this too? You spend your time in unusual ways, my friend. Is it a boy? Okay. The very pretty boy. He's very pretty. The canal here is a common gathering spot for birds of all kind, but the one I'm after today is the Hornbill. Its feathers are green and it's a cry-distinctive caw. It single it out and shoot it with this sleeping dart. Hey, the voices. Is that the sound it makes? Wah, wah. Hi, Macy. I am. It's good to see you. The effects are short-lived, so I'll lie in wait down by the riverbank to claim our quarry. Be sure to hit the right one. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. It said it had green feathers. Look for the green bird which caws and sedate it with the dart. Coo? Those weren't caws. Whack, whack, coo. Caw, caw! That's what. Eh. Got it in the butt. Hit the right bird with the dart. Yay! Hey, Konrapi! You went to sleep in one fangirl stream and woke up in another. Thank you for being here. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good nap. Or whatever you were doing. Lurking, I just assumed nap. Or you could have been doing something else. I hope it was positive.
A fair shot.
Aha! Thank you.
Nicely done. Let me truss this one up and I'll make my way over to you.
Sweet. That's a big bird to transport. You were studying. Good for you. Good for you.
There you are. Any new revelations?
So you met with that gleaner again, this time to capture a hornbill.
You know me.
I understand catching and bringing in creatures from the outside, but what's the point of chasing after ones already here?
To transport them elsewhere.
It's a simple thing, really. Occasionally, we remove specimens no longer needed for study, or those we've had difficulty raising. But we can't simply turn them loose. Safely returning such creatures to their native habitats is another facet of a gleaner's duties. But not in this case, I'm afraid. I've been asked to bring the bird below.
Below?
The restricted section in the lower levels of Labyrinthos.
This is our guy!
Open only to a select few researchers handpicked by the Forum. The projects down there are the subject of rumor and hearsay. Forbidden magics. Advanced technologies that can never be allowed to fall into outside hands. Even Archons are not privy to the truth. Those who are, the researchers involved in this secretive work, are not permitted to walk freely in the city, and are instead required to live in isolated quarters.
Wow.
What could a facility subject to such strict security protocols possibly need with a hornbill? An experiment?
Experiments?
Possibly. I wasn't afforded an explanation. But judging by the requisition list given to me and my colleagues, I doubt it's for any kind of advanced research. I'd be more inclined to believe we were making preparations to migrate to the south. Mericidia or thereabouts.
What? Why would you say that?
Much of the flora and fauna we were asked to procure could serve as reliable sources of sustenance. They're comparatively hardy species too, able to endure harsh climates. And among them are specimens known to be effective in improving soil quality and purifying water.
I'm getting Horizon Zero Dawn 1?
When you put it
Horizon
that
Zero
way,
Dawn vibes.
migration does sound like a reasonable assumption.
That's all it is, though. An assumption. Through our tasks, we gleaners glimpse only bits and pieces of the Forum's plans. Our prime concern is that our requisitions, be they living or otherwise, are properly preserved for the knowledge of future generations. Now, I really must be going. I regret that I cannot reward you as you deserve.
Perhaps you might reward us after a fashion then. It is imperative that we reach the lower levels. And seeing as you are already set to descend with your assigned cargo, mayhap we could accompany you as your assistants.
I'm afraid that won't be possible. Once the animals have been prepared for transport, we send them down separately via the lift. I will, of course, follow after to make my report.
Put us in the
but I
boxes.
can hardly pass you off as porters when there's nothing left to carry.
Indeed. Pray, forget I said anything.
Ishtola did that. Son of a bitch. It's fine. It's great.
How do you feel about climbing? If you've strength and the courage to brave it, then there is another way down. This path leads to the 33rd facet, a mine shaft excavated during one of our expansions of Labyrinthos. While I cannot guarantee that the passage is safe to traverse, it should provide access to the medial circuit below.
I never even knew such a place existed. Thank you. This is the perfect solution.
All this, and he's like, oh, just take the big scary cave
quite
down.
welcome.
It's fine.
But consider yourselves warned. If the going proves too treacherous, you do well to turn back. I bid you good day.
Seems like a security breach right there.
But turning back is hardly an option, not when we've come this far. Let's go and take a look at this mine shaft.
Is there gonna be like a guy at a desk as we enter this mine shaft? I guess there's probably just like a gate that's locked that we can use our foot key to circumvent. Thank you, Sir Bunny Boy. Labyrinth Screamer. Ooh, I'm running away from that. Speak with Alphino. Anytime, anywhere. Number one son. I never would have noticed this cave on my own. Thank the scholar that Erenville knew of it, and that you were there to persuade him to share. I took a quick peek inside, but it's awfully dark in there. The medial circuit, which Erenville mentioned, is the tier directly below us. Unlike the lowest level of Labyrinthos, with its rigid security, one can usually roam the middle layer quite freely. Let us see what we might find. Wait, so the one... Okay, so we're on... Okay, so... Oh, so will this take us down to the medial one? But we still have to get to the lowest one, and we were trying to take the elevator directly to the lowest level, which we couldn't do. This must be it, the entrance to the mine shaft. 'Tis faint, but I hear something moving within. Creatures homed there by the researchers, you think? Well, slavering beasts aside, we will need to watch our footing. We should tighten our straps and such before we continue. Buckle up, Alfie. She like adjusts all his clothes. Just let me make sure that you're all okay, Alfie. Oh, is this my hat? Headgear. Oh. Did I opened it. Did it not? Was it not better than what I had on? I guess not. Oh, guess not. Man-made though it may be, this shaft was designed to resemble a natural cave system. Heed Erenville's warning and do step carefully. The medial circuit. Were you surprised to see another great worm? Well, yeah. I didn't expect that to be a dragon. That was super cool. Biscuit. Okay. I'm just gonna stand here and bark. Aw, I'm so happy, Sailor Badger. Have you made it a male Viera, like for your character, or changed them into one? You don't have. You can't. I can't have dog sounds without showing you the dog. Okay, hold on. Doesn't like to be on camera. Thank you, Mr. Biscuit. You're a good boy. You tired, boy? You were sleeping. Yeah, good boy. He hates being on camera, and he knows when I'm showing him on camera. He's a giant chihuahua. I know, your dad's home. You want to go see him. You want to go see your dad. Go see. That's the first thing I did at 5 a.m. on the first day was make your bunny boy. Yes. Go see your dad, Biscuit. Go see him. Oh, it's raining! I brought the thirst. Mr. P brought the thirst. Alright, let's play a little more. Make a little more progress here. Alisaie seems eager to get underway. Me too. Assuming everyone's tightened their straps and checked their gear, then I say we head on in. Given the terrain ahead, though, it might be wise to leave some distance between us. We don't want to be stumbling over each other if it comes to a fight. Take it slow, and don't forget to check your surroundings from time to time. We can meet up again at the other end of the tunnel. Now I have biscuit hairs in my mouth. Ooh, dark. Aha! Fatter cat will not stumble. This is like... This is where all the, like, volcano. This is what it originally looked like. Meow. Eat your waffle real quick. Lemon waffle. Thanks, Jack Rose. Excellent. So dark. I have to use the mini-map. Wow, that was like a Bowser sound right there. That just made me want to play Mario World 2. That would be a good game to play for the charity marathon. I've always wanted to play Mario World on stream. What if we play a Mario game for the... Well, a Mario platformer. Like, not Mario RPG for once. Hey, what's up, Carl? Good to see ya. Playing 14 at the moment. I hope you've been enjoying Endwalker if you are there. If you're that far, that's what we're doing. We're doing the Endwalker main story, so. $89, nice. Oh, I hope you're loving it. Still raining. That mine shaft was infested with mithril caps. Some sort of research project, I wonder? I suppose they are a most unusual creature. I see the puppies outside my window. Aww. They're so cute. Why did they develop such long limbs when all they do is shuffle around in narrow tunnels? That's a good question. Luna, did you know Kryl almost took a tumble back there? She can't possibly still be dizzy from the lift. Kryl, what is going on with your anime headache? I was being careful, I swear. The slope was steeper than I thought, and I lost my footing for a moment, that's all. I'm not injured, if you don't count my pride. I'm sure it's nothing. Everyone seems to have made it through without incident. Nothing of consequence, at least, and as promised, the tunnel has delivered us into the medial circuit. As I recall, this tier is where they keep a wide variety of samples for agricultural production. Toe Beans! Someone's name is Toe Beans! Wow, Carl says it's absolutely the best expansion. People keep filtering in as they complete the MSQ, and I keep hearing that, which is insane because Shadowbringers was the best MMO expansion I've ever experienced. Like it was the story like was absolutely incredible. The way they presented everything like was just mind-blowing. So to have people keep filtering in and keep saying it's so good, it's the best one, and beat Shadowbringers is just like, oh my gosh. If Erenville's assumption holds true, that's specimens are being collected in preparation for a great migration, then we should see evidence of such plans in the area's research projects. Let's follow the path to the nearest farming facility and see what we see. I gotta say, right now I'm getting huge Horizon Zero Dawn vibes from this particular quest. Genomos. Whoops, wait. I think we gotta go. Am I supposed to be up here? Maybe? Are we in a whole separate dome? Hi, Jack. Who's a good boy? Ah, it's a little farm. Aha, now I know where we are. This is the Labyrinthos is host to a wide variety of vegetation, which allows us to conduct studies on cultivation methods utilized in foreign lands. And it is this facility which coordinates and oversees those efforts. The fruits of their research go to feed their Labyrinthos colleagues, or so I hear. More notable successes might make it to the Agora. Food so exotic you'd be hard-pressed to guess their origin, let alone how they might taste. Indeed, mystery vegetables without a name, only a list of nutritional benefits scribbled on a card. Where's that cafe? I see no gleaners hereabouts, yet these workers seem to share that same sense of urgency. 'Tis possible they know something of the Forum's plans and their underlying motivations. Worth looking into, wouldn't you say? See what you can coax from the workers. The rest of us will do the same or cast about for useful clues. It's not often you meet someone here who so obviously doesn't belong. This is like my twin. Look, she got like the same hair, same face markings as me. This is this is like my Vanitas right here. This is my my dark version of Luna. She got the black hair and the gold eyes. Can I help you with something? For now, at least, I am the second most important person in this facility. Now, you may think I'm shirking my duties, but even at this very moment, I am envisioning how we can improve our methods. Gazing upon this watermill calms my heart and clears my mind of unnecessary thoughts, leaving room only for brilliant ideas. Even so, inspiration takes time, and today it seems to be slower in the coming than usual. Marial Argonomics is where the finest agricultural minds gather to research plant specimens from around the realm. The plants grown here are also used to feed the people working in Labyrinthos, straight from our fields to their tables, fresh as fresh can be. Nice. And so you've spent years researching these high-yield cultivation techniques? Do I have aught? Drink! Aught! And it didn't come from Alfie. Do I have aught to be taken down below? More than I can carry and then some. Most of our stock is sent off via the cargo lift, but some has been earmarked for aerial transport. Hence the stack of crates atop that hill over there. God's hauling the lot up that slope was a job and a half. Oof. John Quinnett. I like that name. What are you doing, Ishtola? I took a moment to survey the surrounding area. There are several other facilities nearby we can investigate if we fail to learn aught of value here. The aught person was on duty writing all of the dialogue in this area. That's our fourth aught. What crops are we raising? Well, as you can see, this one is a variety of grape. Only needs a good source of sunlight to grow, and the conditions here are nothing short of perfect. Here with the boy, yes, howdy do we have a good source of sunlight here right now. Hardly surprising, given that it's native to a particular locale in the very place upon which Labyrinthos was modeled, a region in the south of Isambard. It boasts remarkable habitat diversity, allowing for a myriad flora and fauna to thrive. Chilly peaks in the north give way to swaths of temperate plains, in which turn transition into hot, humid coastline. Such bountiful territory is ever contested, as you might expect. Used to be called Corvos before the Imperials renamed it Locus Amoenus. Hey, I know that place. The Forum saw it not as a prize, however, but a researcher's ideal environment, one whose climates we strove to recreate with the confines of Labyrinthos. It's since provided a rich foundation for countless experiments and cultivation. Wow, nerd! It's okay. It's okay to be a nerd. Oh, Are we doing cryo? Studying a pumpkin? It's bigger than you are. A field full of ripe vegetables being left to rot on the vine. Not a single picker hard at work. Clearly procuring readily available fresh food is not the Forum's priority. Well, yeah, they're all busy because they've been told to do other stuff. Jeb. Nerd! What's up, Govern? Super nerd. Oh, hello there. We weren't expecting visitors. Not with use of the lift being restricted. How did you make it down here anyway? Look at this guy with his little bag of flowers. The mine shaft, you say? Well, you're a much hardier soul than I. Under normal circumstances, I'd reward such tenacity with a guided tour of the fields, but I'm afraid the Forum has us filling order lists a mile long. Massive yet detailed requests. Literal wagon loads of crop samples, and hardly any time to put them together. When I first heard of this grand reorganization, I assumed we would be shuffling around old stock to make room for the new. Then came the orders for ridiculous quantities of seeds we've already thoroughly researched. Passing strange, eh? I pressed for an explanation and was met with vague assurances that all would be revealed in due course. Not the most satisfying answer. Oh my god! It's so Horizon, you guys! telling you. Bit ahead of me in the MSQ. Stray tomato! Look at this angry stray. I'm gonna kill the stray tomato. This is a tough tomato, man. That's what happens when you don't harvest your crops. No, that's gene splicing right there. You get a tomato with arms. It takes 18 dias or glares to kill. I went the long way around. Yes, I did. Pefredo! Hey, Pefredo! Are you good on pasta? So I have to get up there. Boy, did I miss the entrance and now I gotta go all the way around. Oh my god! Oh, Final Fantasy. I hate your mini-maps so much. If only I could fly. If only I could touch the sky. With my little pitter patter of my fatter cat feet. To fly around the sky. Just like a fairy fleet. With my little bows on my feet. Toe Beans! What's up, Toe Beans? I'm gonna bring the bad guys. I'm sorry. Oh, nah, he's running away. He's running away. It's fine. Some of these boxes. The labels on these crates tell the story of their contents. Bundles of common seeds and saplings, accompanied by sheaves of reports. Those are some glow flowers.
Hard to look away, isn't it?
Isn't it?
But they're more than pretty flowers. Heart blooms are attuned to ambient emotion.
Heart blooms. Does them being white mean I'm feeling nothing?
You don't seem convinced, but believe me, it's true. This ashen grey, for instance, it mirrors the anxiety and urgency of those working nearby as they rush to fulfill sudden orders. Intense feelings like those spur the petals to change color. Bright glowing hues in the presence of joy, dark subdued shades for frustration or despair. Yet even with the collected wisdom of Sharlayan at our disposal, we've yet to identify the underlying principle of this empathic effect.
Cool.
And there are other mysteries besides. Although the flower is extraordinarily long-lived, its low reproductive rate has made it difficult to find younger populations growing in the wild. With too few sightings to map its distribution, and no closely related species to track, we've been unable to pinpoint its land of origin.
The moon!
To further complicate matters, every culture, even dimly aware of its existence, has given it a different name and mythos. Our attempts to study it via the historical record have been an exercise in frustration. As an avid botanist myself, I should one day like to unravel the Heartbloom's secrets. But I'm afraid other duties must take precedence. I will leave you to your thoughts.
Thank you. Oh, I like it.
Have you learned aught of interest?
Aught! Drink! Aw, Matoya's theme.
A flower that reacts to one's feelings. Strange. I must say, I have never heard of such a thing.
This is all very fascinating. But as it stands, we've failed to gain any significant insight into the Forum's undertaking.
Indeed. While there is certainly enough
Squish,
activity
squish,
to support
squish,
Erenvil's
squish.
supposition that a priority has been placed on improving food production, unfortunately for our investigation, these workers were never informed as to how their duties serve the master plan.
If only we could interrogate the Forum members directly.
Squish, 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 squish. Freaking rain.
Isn't that the entrance to the Archaean? Look, there. I think that's Erenville.
A little difficult to tell from here, but I think you're right.
In the dark and in the
He did say he
rain.
was coming down to make his report.
Erenville receives his orders from the Forum. Would it not follow, then, that the superior to whom he reports is a Forum member? Or at least a close associate?
You mean to eavesdrop on their conversation? What of the risks?
What risks?
Ours
Ishtola
alone
cares
to bear.
not of risks.
We won't interfere with Erenville's work, nor will he be implicated as an accomplice.
What of the risks, Alpha? You're
If you're
cute.
not comfortable taking part, I can do this alone.
Nay. I said myself that I wished to know Father's intentions. And no answers will be forthcoming should we simply ask nicely.
We can apologize later, should it come to it. Right now, we need every crumb of information we can get our hands on. Consequences be damned.
Wow. They all changed their tune from Desk Guy told us we couldn't
Came
go.
along as well. In fact, we should all.
Like, you know what? Screw it. Let's just break in. Oh, Kryl. That anime headache gonna come into play.
Kryl?
Oh, yes. That certainly sounds like a plan.
That sounds like a plan.
I'm glad you agree.
Walk faster.
Quickly! Erenville is on the move. We need to get closer before we lose him.
Almost. I can almost reach you.
Kryl. Kryl. She's hearing voices. She thought it was my voice. And I said, no, it wasn't me. Let's get after him already. We've waited too long as it is. It feels wrong to spy on Erenville, helpful as he's been. But what other choice do we have? Come on, Alfie! Such a good boy. Forgive me, my attention has been elsewhere. We were following Erenville, weren't we? Is Kryl still feeling unwell? I've never seen her so distracted. Keep an eye on her, but keep moving, too. We cannot let our quarry slip away. Put her in your backpack. All right, we are going to leave it there for today. Need some light in here. Need some light. Oh my goodness, my beautiful peaches, thank you so much for hanging out today. Isekai me to another streamer like Eno did. I will, Conrevy. I will. Oh my god, I love it. I love that. Alright, let me log out so someone else can have a spot in the game. Bye, Luna. Bye, Luna. We'll see you tomorrow. We will continue the adventures. Oh, yes. Of Alfie and Alisaie and Ishola and Kryl, who's hearing voices. Kryl's hearing dead people. Oh my goodness. Reminder that the Peach Market is open, which is our end of the year. Thank you. I just wanted to hear the title screen. It's so cool. It's so cool. So Final Fantasy. It's like the Final Fantasy music, but then like that like ominous, that little ominous dun, 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 in the background. Oh, so good. It's so good, you guys. I love it so much. Yeah, what Tala said, Ixer. What Tala said. If it's only a month late, then I did really good this year. Thank you, Alaska. Yeah, so make sure to check out the Peach Market, all the gifts you can pick up this year, and get your stuff in, because everything is limited and it's first come, first serve. I will process all of the first orders tonight, and take away the peaches so that you have you know where your balance is at, and and yeah. So looking forward to getting some stuff out to you guys. Yes, good nights. What? Oh my gosh. Okay, I will see you guys tomorrow. Stream starts at noon. We will play more Endwalker. And then tomorrow night is the Game Awards. I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow night. Someone said they thought it was Friday, and then, like, now I'm questioning. But I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow night from 7 to 11 my time. As long as I'm not, like, completely exhausted, or desperately needing a night off, then I don't see any reason why we can't watch it together and just chill and hang out together. And yeah, I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow. So yeah, double stream tomorrow. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. Just hanging out, looking at cool games. Yeah, so I will see you guys. I'll see you guys then. And there's all of my socials in case you want to follow the YouTube channel, check out the Twitter or Instagram, join us on our Discord server. Please feel free, even if you're not subscribed, it's open to the entire community. There are lots of different channels in there to discuss games and anime and Final Fantasy XIV. We have a dedicated Final Fantasy XIV channel in there. All spoilers are under spoiler tags in there to protect you from that. And we got sections for Kingdom Hearts and Fire Emblem, and then of course just like pictures and collectibles and food and mental health and all kinds of cool stuff in there. It's always good to hang out with you guys 24/7, even when the stream's offline in there. Back to watching. Oh my gosh. Back to watching more Peachy's Kingdom Hearts. Wait, my Kingdom Hearts 1 playthrough? Oh my gosh. Thank you for watching that, Ren. I hope you're having fun. Oh no, Euro truck driver stream. Oh my gosh, you're watching all the playthroughs? Ah, thank you so much. Oh my gosh, my stomach just growled so loud. Mr. P will be streaming his cooking stream in a little over an hour, so I will see you guys over there tonight on twitch.tv/F1Partisan. And yeah, so I'm gonna find a streamer to send you guys over to. Please give them your love, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a beautiful evening, everyone. Remember to always love what you love, and stay healthy, stay happy, and stay peachy. Bye!